Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmate. We are the nine reporter with Nadine Magsigyaw. So our topic is all about cultural communities in Mindanao. So this lesson introduced the diverse cultural communities that inhabit Mindanao, one of the most culturally rich regions in the Philippines. Mindanao is home to numerous ethnic groups, both indigenous or Lumad, and Islamic communities, each with its own traditions, belief system, and historical backgrounds. Understanding these groups is essential to appreciating the multicultural nature of the Filipino identity. So next page is by the end of the lesson, students should be able to identify major cultural communities in Mindanao, such as Maranao, Tasog, Maguindanao, Yakan, Sobanen, and Tibuli. Describe their unique cultural practices, tradition, and belief system. Number 3 is explain the historical origins and geographical distribution of Mindanao's cultural groups. So these objectives ensure not only recognition of this group, but also appreciation and cultural understanding. Next is, as we can see to our screen, is the Lumad. So the indigenous cultural communities, which are in short is ICC, in the Philippines or Lumad are believed to make up about 10% of the national population of the Philippines. So they are considered the original inhabitants of Mindanao before the arrival of Islam in the 4th century and Christianity during Spanish colonization. Next slide is in 1986, 15 of the more than 18 ICC in Mindanao adopted the term Lumad, a Visayan word for native or indigenous to distinguish themselves from the Christians and Muslims in Mindanao. So this was a significant political and cultural act meant to assert their identity distinct from Muslims and Christian settlers who later migrated to Mindanao. Next slide is Republic Act 6734 enacted during Corazon Aquino's time used the term to differentiate these ethnic communities from the Bangsamoro people, according to Redale 2004. So, Lumad communities in Bangsamoro peoples, this legal recognition affirmed the uniqueness of the Lumad identity and supported their rights to ancestral domains. Next is the Lumad are non-Muslims or non-Christians, although the orientation of their cultural developments appeared to be toward the Muslim groups according to Jocano 1998. So, while Lumad peoples are neither Muslim nor Christians, some cultural traits parallel those of Muslim communities because of geographic and historical interaction. So, as anthropologists, according to F. Landa Jocano 1998, observed, their cultural development shows noticeable orientation toward neighboring Muslim groups, especially in governance and trade patterns. Next slide is Dakota Bato Manubo. So as we read it, is a group that has traditionally lived in the southeast highlands of Mindanao, also known as the Dulungan and Tudag. They are mostly Christians and have been largely assimilated, and their traditional culture has disappeared. So the Cotabato Manubo, also known the Dulungan or Tudag, so they traditionally inhabited the southwestern highlands of Mindanao. Over time, many assimilated into Christian lowland society. As a result, their traditional customs, belief systems, and rituals has weakened or disappeared. This is a common pattern among indigenous communities affected by migration and modernization. Next is the Bagubos. Bagubos are a group that live in a very mountainous regions of Mindanao between the upper Pilangi and Davao rivers, also known as the Manubo, Manuvo, Ubo, and Ubo. They are divided into two main groups. So the coastal Bagubo who are influenced by Christianity, plantation, and were largely assimilated, and upland Bagubo who are traditionally practice slash and born agriculture and derive about 25% of their food from hunting, gathering, and fishing. So the upland Bagubo practice slash and born agriculture and relied partly on hunting and fishing. So their culture is known for strict marriage rules, especially against incest. So Vejan's group tradition, long epic poems called tuwaang, ang an essential part of their oral literature. Next is village, Bagubo village characteristics. So, some upland Bagubo villages are very small and consist of only a few families living on a hilltop. Others are largely Bagubo culture is characterized by strict incest prohibition, prohibitions, the formation of Vejans groups, and the production of long epic poema called tuwaang. So some Bagubo communities are small hilltop settlements composed of a few families, while other are larger cluster. Their settlement style reflect both environmental adaptation and the need for defense in pre-colonial times. Next slide is the Bilanor or Bilaan is a group that they lives in a south central Mindanao, also known as the Balod or Baraan, Bilanes, Biraan, Blan, Buluan, Bulanis, Tagalan, and so on. So they live in houses scattered among gardens and are also ruled by Dato. So the Bilaan, also known through various alternate names, inhabit south central Mindanao. They live disappears, homes surrounded by gardens, a sign of an agricultural lifestyle. So their society is led by datos, or we know dato sa, yes, a political authority also found in other Mindanao communities. So a striking Bilaan tradition is their three bark burial practices, where the dead are wrapped in a tree bark and suspended from treetops, symbolics of returning the body to nature and elevating the spirit. So, when we say dato, mo ni ang galid sa ilaha. So, the Bilaan people of Mindanao wrap their dead inside tree barks being enveloped. Yes, that's from treetops. And next is the Bukidnon. It's a group that lives lives in the highlands of north-central Mindanao, also known as the Brunukid, Binukid, Higaonon, and Higaonen. They have traditionally been farmers who raise corn, rice, sweet potatoes, bananas, and coconuts, and use water buffalo to flood their fields. Many have been assimilated, and most are Catholics. So, the use of carabaos for flowing due to the lowland influence and missionization may have converted to Catholicism, and their cultural practices had been significantly modified. So they were farmers. Cultivating corn, rice, banana, sweet potatoes, and coconuts. The next is the Mandaya. Mandaya are an animist ethnic group that lives along the Mayo River. In the old days, Mandaya youth fight and blacken their teeth upon reaching puberty. So, the Mandaya people inhabit the areas along the Mayo River. They are an animist group known for distinctive beauty rituals. Historically, Mandaya youth filed and blackened their teeth as a rite of passage, which symbolized maturity, beauty, and readiness for marriage. Next slide is these acts were considered aid, aids to beauty which help a young person find a suitable partner for marriage. So, these are the cultural significance of Mandaya practices. So, these tooth blackening practices were deeply symbolic. They express discipline, cultural aesthetics, and commitment to community standards of beauty. They demonstrate how cultural values shape bodily expression. Next is the Tibuli of Mindanao. So, people live in the southern part of the province of Cotabato, in the area around Lake Cebu, west of the city General Santos. In the past, the Tibuli practiced slash and burn agriculture. So, the Tibuli people live near Lake Cebu in South Cotabato. They are globally recognized for their traditional weaving tinalak, although your slide focuses on their agricultural practices. So historically, they use slash and burn farming. So clearing plots for short-term cultivation, their main crops included rice, cassava, yams. They complemented farming with hunting and fishing. So these are the Tibuli agriculture. So slash and burn means that the people will clear a part of the forest by cutting the big trees and burning the lower and smaller trees and bushes, after which they use the cleared plots as arable land for some years without any fertilization. So, due to the environmental regulations and ecological degradation slash and burn agriculture is no longer widely practiced. So, modern Tibuli communities now use more sustainable farming methods, balancing tradition with environmental conservation. Let's proceed to this slide, the Muslims. Muslims are the most significant minority in the Philippines. They are for the most part remain outside the mainstream of national life, set apart by their religion and way of life. So, Muslim, collectively referred to as Bangsamoro, constitute the largest non-Christian minority in the Philippines. Their cultural identity is strongly shaped by the Islam, which arrived in the 14th century earlier than Christianity. So they historically operated independent independent sultanates which allowed them to resist Spanish colonization. Next is the Muslims are believers of Islam. So the Muslims possess a culture which is different from that of the Christian Filipinos. So Muslim Filipino differ culturally from Christian majority Filipinos due to religion. So legal traditions, attire, family structure, and social norms influenced by Islamic teaching. Understanding these differences is crucial in appreciating the cultural diversity of the Philippines and recognizing the historical roots of Mindanao conflicts and negotiation. Next slide is their culture has been greatly influenced by Islam. It will be an interesting venture to know more about their culture. So, Philippine Muslim are categorized based on language history and geographic distribution. They include such as They include groups such as Maguindanao, Maranao, Tausug, Sama, Yakan, and many others. Each has its distinct identity yet shares Islamic cultural foundations.
In these slides, the focus is on the Muslim population in the Philippines, who form the biggest non-Christian minority group. Their lifestyle, beliefs, and cultural identity are deeply shaped by Islam, which distinguish them from Christian Filipinos because of their unique history and tradition, shaped by centuries of trade, sultanate, and Islamic scholarship. They sometimes remain outside the, the mainstream Filipino culture. Understanding them means recognizing how religion and history and geography have built a distinct society in Mindanao and nearby islands. Basis of clarification. This slide explains that Philippine Muslim group are classified based on language. Language is an important identity marker because of its reflects shared ancestors, shared culture and worldview, shared historical experience. Thus, while they all share Islam, each Muslim subgroup has its own distinct language, traditions, and local history. The Maguindanao people live along the Pulangi River, an area rich in agriculture and trade. Their name means people of the flood plain, and their culture connected to farming, river, riverine life, and Islamic learning. Their political structure historically included imams, and sultanate leadership showing a strong Islamic governance tradition. The Maranao. Maranao mean people of the lake. They live around Lake Lanao, one of the largest lake in the Philippines, known for Torugan houses, okir wood, carving, and kolintang music. Their society is structured around royal houses. They value artistry, literature, and epic chants such as the darangin recognized by UNESCO. Because they settle around water, they are skilled in weaving, weaving, metalwork, and trade. The Tausug. Tausug combines Tao or people and Sug or current, meaning people of the current. They are known as brave warriors and seafarers. They built the Sulu Sultanate, a powerful maritime kingdom, skilled in navigation, trade, and traditional martial arts. Their bravery and seafaring traditions arose from living in the dynamic waters of Sulu. The Sama. Sama people live across the Sulu archipelago including Tawi-Tawi. They have multiple subgroups such as Sama Dilaot, Sama Bangungi, Sama Siasi. They are traditionally boat dwellers, fisher folk, expert navigators. Their mobility reflects their deep connection with the sea. The Yakan. The Yakan of Basilan are known as combining Islamic belief and traditional indigenous spiritual practices. This mix is called folk Islam. They are known for abaka weaving, in intricate geometric textile patterns, historical resistance against Spanish and American colonizers. Their culture is shaped by forest life, weaving traditions, and warrior heritage. The Ilanon or Iranon. The Iranon are believed to be the origin group of both Maranao and Maguindanao. You can see this though through similar languages, shape, ancestry, related cultural beliefs. Historically, they were excellent maritime navigators and participated in inter-island trade defense activities across Mindanao. The Kulibugan. Kulibugan literally means half-breeds. They came from the Subanin but adopted Islam through intermarriage with Muslim group. Close interaction with Islamic communities, their identity blends Subanin indigenous culture and Muslim cultural practices. This create this creates a unique hybrid traditions. The Sangil. The Sangil people are found in Balut Island, Sarangani, South Cotabato, and Davao del Sur, regions that they came from the Sanghe Islands of Indonesia, showing Mindanao's historical link with nearby countries. Their culture's strong maritime traditions shape language roots with Indonesians group, influence of people indigenous and Islamic costumes. Dakalagan. Dakalagan or Kaagan are found in the Davao region. Islamization occurred through interaction with Tausug, Maguindanao. However, when the sultanates moved away, their communities became less integrated and more marginalized, affecting their access to resources and development. Hence, their identity today mix, such as Islamic heritage, indigenous local beliefs. Muslims inhabitants of Palawan. Islam spread to Palawan through the Sulu Sultanate, Tausug missionaries and traders. Modern Muslim communities are located in Bataraza, Brook Point, Española, Nara, Rojas, Taytay, Aborlan. Their culture is shaped by coastal life and the historical ties of Sulu. The Jama Mapon. The Jama Mapon are concentrated on Cagayan de Sulu. Cultural traits such as highly maritime people, strong Islamic traditions, and known for weaving, boat building, and traditional dances. They, they maintain close cultural links with Sabah and Sulu. The Bajau. Known as Sea Gypsies, the Bajau lived in such as Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, coastal Zamboanga, and their identity is the nomadic sea people, experts, free divers, and fisher folk. Live in state houses or boat, or lipa-lipa. Their lifestyle is ocean dependent, and many still practice Asian seafaring rituals.
Last one is Subanon. The Subanon is a group of anime/inborn agriculturists that live in the forest interior in southern Mindanao, also known as the Subanen, Eastern Subanon or Subanon, Western Subanon. They are quite different from the lowlanders who live around them, who are either Muslims or Christians. So the Subanen are non-Muslims, indigenous/inborn agriculturists living in Zamboanga Peninsula and forested interior mountains. So their cultural identity is known for their farming and animistic rituals like practices kaingin, agriculture, have strong ties to nature spirits, and live upland communities distinct from Muslims and Christians. Next is thank you. That will be all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for watching.